but I want to introduce my guest in studio today. Sharon Sund is a scientist who is also a politician, and she is seeking to become the third Congressional District Member of Congress. Good morning, Sharon.
Good morning, Al. It's great to be here with you.
Well, thank you for being here, and thank you for stepping up to the plate. The 3rd Congressional District, the incumbent there is Eric Paulson, a Republican, and I think that's a district that's been conservative or Republican for a long, long time. What makes you think that Sharon Sund can take that seat from the Republicans?
That's a great question, Al, and one I get asked a lot. First of all, it has been held by Republicans for decades. However, it's always been held by moderate Republicans, and that is Republicans who believe in supporting a strong social network, social protection. It's held by Republicans who believe in protecting the environment, in creating jobs for everyone. It's been held by Republicans who believe in a strong public education, supporting women's rights and rights of all citizens. However, what has happened is Eric Paulson has slipped in somewhat deceptively, calling himself a moderate, yet voting very much like a Tea Party person. Tea Party people love him because he smiles and sends out colorful brochures that says he's supporting Medicare and he's doing all of these things for seniors, and yet at the same time, he's voting against them. He's not good for our country. He's not good for the 3rd District. He's not good for people.
Sharon, what's your background? How have you come to be active in the DFL party? And how have you made this decision to put your name, your hat in the ring for this important position?
Well, it didn't come easily. In some ways, I come kicking and screaming. I didn't want to be involved. I'm a scientist. I've worked as a scientist. I've taught in science and Upward Bound. I have worked in business. I have a master's from the university. My undergraduate is chemistry and biology. I worked as a consultant at Target, St. Jude, SuperValue, and then at medical device companies. Then I started getting active first in my children's schools, at my church, and volunteering in the special needs community. And when I had read Barack Obama's book, and I said, if that man ever runs for president, I'm going to do everything I can to get him elected. And you caught the bug. And I got the bug. And I worked hard, and when he got elected, I said, okay, now I can go back to my life. And then I realized that they were going to do everything they could to keep his agenda, which I thought was a good agenda, from passing. And so I jumped in the ring and started fighting hard for him. I fought and fought for affordable health care. We got that passed. I was also working hard for green energy jobs. That was blocked. And then I realized that we needed to work to develop an economy that works for all of us, not just the top 1%. And I started working for that. But what really got me to jump in the ring was when Congressman Eric Paulson voted for the Ryan budget. The Ryan budget effectively destroys Medicare as we know it. It cuts public investment in education, in infrastructure, and in science and development research. So it basically destroys the American dream. And you know, when we cut all of those things, it disproportionately affects African Americans and all minorities. I can't stand back and watch that happen. And that's why I threw my hat in the ring, regardless of what I have to go through. Al, I think about who fought for us. Many people fought and died for us to have the opportunities that we have today. And what you have is a Congressman Paulson and other people like him voting to destroy all of that. I can't sit back and let that happen, and I'm hoping that all your listeners will step up and help me get elected so I can go there, support the president, along with our esteemed Congressman Keith Ellison.
I'm Al McFarlane. You're listening to Conversations with Al McFarlane. My guest, Sharon Sund. She's seeking to unseat incumbent Eric Paulson in the 3rd Congressional District. Give me more of your background. Where are you from, and how did you get to Minnesota? Or, what's this the road you've traveled to this point of your professional and civic engagement?
Well, Al, as with most African Americans, the road has not been easy. My grandfather was a sharecropper in Mississippi, hardworking man.
Whereabouts? What part?
In Water Valley, Mississippi.
Okay.
He had to run away in the night to get away from the unscrupulous landholder who was deceiving him and keeping him in bondage, even though slavery had ended. He moved up to Memphis. My father went to the military, 20 years in the military. The women in my family, strong, determined, stuck by their men regardless. And they all fought and struggled and sacrificed so that I could have the opportunity to live my dream. I came up here to go to McAllister, got a scholarship, McKnight Scholarship. I worked for the Department of Natural Resources, and had the privilege and opportunity to work on developing the Minnesota watershed map, which is still being used today. I graduated with degrees in chemistry and biology. I've been in the Twin Cities for 35 years. I worked as a scientist building a battery to store wind energy. I then was I was a manager in research and development, managed a team of engineers and technicians. And then I went back to the university, got my master's, and became a consultant. And the rest I've already told you about.
And the rest is history.
Yeah, the rest is history.
And so I'm excited to learn this story because of several things. One, that you don't have the popular image of women in science, so it's great that you have done all that you have done, that you are a noted environmentalist, a person who's interested in greening society, green technology. And it's wonderful that as a professional African-American woman who's a scientist, you've also decided that you can't say it's only science, it's science and public and civic life as well. So you've made a commitment to be involved in a very personal and aggressive way, a positive way, serving our community and our country by seeking elected office. I commend you for that.
Thank you.
What do you say to other people who are listening that ought to be thinking about what they can bring, what they can add to the public discourse? What's the tipping point? How do you get them to get off of the square one and get into motion? What do you think?
The first thing, and most recently, I've been a community activist. And as an activist, my job is getting people involved. And what I have to do a lot of is talk to people who hear the news, hear the negativity out there, become discouraged, and think that there's no hope and there's nothing that they can do. And I would encourage them, first of all, don't listen to the naysayers. You can make a difference. It is critical that you get out and you not only vote, but you get active in the political process. February 7th, we're going to have a caucus. Go to your caucus. Get into the decision-making process. Become a delegate within the DFL party. By doing these things, learn the system. Then you can work and have a voice in the decisions that are made. The other thing I would tell anyone who's listening, get educated. We need, as African Americans, to be lifelong learners. We need to not just believe that they're doing it to us. We need to begin to do it for us. Not just for yourself, but because who you are is important and valuable to society. Society needs your voice. You may think that they know it all and they can do it and they're not doing this, but then that's why we need you. Because you can see something differently that others can't see.
Describe your district, Sharon Sun, 3rd District. Describe that briefly. And again, I want you to invite people to pay attention and to check out the issues for your campaign.
Okay, that's a great question, and one that's several parts. So I'll start off with the description of the district. The 3rd District, and it's interesting because people will ask me, well, you're African American. Why do you think you can win in a district that's 82% white? Not even 7% black. Well, black? I may look black on the outside, but the inside, I'm a person just like anybody else.
Human being.
A human being.
That's right.
Doggone it. Who says that black means I'm that's somebody else's construct, right? We all want the same thing. We all want to live in peace, have a family, make sure that there's enough to take care of our family, send our kids to college so that they can have a better life than we did. We want to build up money so that we can save and retire. We want to go to church and worship and have friends around us. That is a people first. So I can win in this district. First of all, and Obama won the 3rd District by 7 points.
Yeah.
Well, you see, people in the 3rd District are not concerned so much about race. That's a fallacy.
They're concerned about right.
That's right. And they want, you see, people can identify with me. I'm a first of all, I'm a person. I'm a scientist. I'm a business owner. I own a small business. I've worked in business. I have children that go to the schools just like them that play soccer and baseball. So that's the 3rd District. There are people out there who want a better life for themselves and their children, and there are people who believe that we need to have strong business environment. And that's you know what that means? That means that the people in the 3rd District believe that we can create an economy that works for 100% of the people, not just the 1%, right? And as a matter of fact, it's a fallacy that the rich people don't want to pay their fair share. They asked the rich people, the 1%, they asked them, do you want your taxes raised to help the 99%? 66% of them said, raise our taxes. So the Republicans are out there fighting for something that nobody wants. And so I want to go to Washington to fight for fairness for everyone. Everyone should have an opportunity to live their American dream. I don't care where you come from. I don't care where you live. You may live in the most impoverished place, but you still have an opportunity to grow up, get a great public education, go to college that's affordable, not one that's ripping you off and that you're going to have to pay for the rest of your life, which is the way they're structuring things right now. And, okay, Al, now I forgot your second part of your question.
I think you've put it all together. And so I think we started off by saying, how do we get people motivated and involved? And what do we do to tell our listeners that they should be active right now? I think you've addressed that.
Yes. Yeah. They need to get involved, like you said. But first of all, I would like your listeners to be excited, to find within them that spark, because within every one of us is a desire to be something, to do something. And oftentimes that gets covered up by discouragement, by negativity, by the television, the voices around us that are negative, and we then try to cover it up, and many people cover it up with drugs and alcohol. But when you can start to believe that you're needed in society, that there are opportunities for you, that there's something like we listen to these wonderful musicians, and they've tapped into something that they love, and they've developed that to present to us beautiful music. And everyone has that within them. It's their responsibility. And they can't look to anyone and say, you're blocking me. If there's something blocking you, fight I'm going to say this, fight like hell to get rid of the blockage, but don't let it stop you from becoming all that you can be and then getting out there and contributing it back to society. That is every one of our responsibility.
Sharon Sun, thank you so very much. Congratulations for stepping up, and good luck. Good luck. People are going to watch you and hear you. You've got a great voice and a message that needs to be heard. Sharon Sun is running for Congress from Minnesota's 3rd District. We'll hear more from her in days ahead. I'm Al McFarlane. This is Conversations with Al McFarlane.